Welcome back to Chapter 16. In this video, we're talking about flexible versus responsive images and other items. First off, when it comes to image options, hopefully when you're loading an image on a website, you're not loading the full actual version of the image. For example, this very beautiful image has a full image resolution of 5,814 pixels by 2,916 pixels. Overall, the file size for this is 5.6 megabytes, which is huge to send over the internet. If you have this loading on a mobile environment, then a person has to download almost 6 megabytes of a file in order to just display the image, whether the image is being displayed at full resolution or whether it's a tiny icon. Hopefully you're not loading tiny icons at their full 6 megapixel resolution, because that would just be a waste of space and a waste of bandwidth. So one option is that you can actually decrease the size itself and create different options for this. So you can actually decrease the actual size of the image, both resolution-wise and size-wise, to compress it. You can make different versions of this and make it easier to load, such as from the 6 megapixel size, we can scale this all the way down to 112 kilobytes, which is a tiny fraction of the whole 6 megabyte file. This makes it easier to load on desktop and laptop environments and on mobile environments when, well, a person doesn't have the best connectivity speed, such as 3G or below, and in that case need to load things faster. They don't need to load a 6 megabyte file in order to see it, they just need to load the visual aspect of it in a tinier version so it's easier to view and load. When it comes to code by itself, one thing you can do inside the img tag in the CSS is add the property height in auto, and then max width of 100%. Of course, if you set an actual width and set that, then, well, it doesn't really matter. Max width with an image allows the image itself to display the maximum width of the available space, or the maximum width of the image. It's kind of a double duty property, which is very helpful in our environment, but also allows you as the developer to know that the image will not be displayed more than 100% of either the available space or the available image that is displayed. For example, if you take this image inside of the web page and you scale it down, then the image itself will scale to the maximum available space. However, if you increase the browser space or the parent element and make it so that the image itself is displayed, the image has the space to be displayed larger than the image is, the image will only be displayed 100% of its actual size and it will not go beyond that. Hence case, the max width of 100%. You can also use the same concept for flexible video if you're using the video tag, which makes things very easy when it comes to trying to make a video scalable with web pages. However, keep in mind that if you are going to load something from YouTube, this concept does not work because YouTube uses something very different. It still uses video tags on its own page, but if you're trying to embed something from YouTube onto your own page, then you have a nice little thing called an iframe. So if you ever take a look at YouTube and try to share something and you see the embed video, you see the iframe section right here. And the iframe is actually what's causing the issue. So let's take a look at what an iframe is. I won't go into too much detail because an iframe is, well, sort of outdated technology. But YouTube has decided the best way to load this is to load it from their servers and use the actual iframe technique. So based on this, an iframe allows you to load a separate website or a section of a website onto a different page. For example, this is my awesome website. However, I'm using an iframe to load the ABTech website. Well, the ABTech website is not mine, but because I'm using an iframe to load it, that means that the whole ABTech website is navigatable through that iframe, even though you're on my awesome website. So this is one thing that a lot of developers kind of stray away from because iframes are outdated technology, but again, YouTube right now has decided that it's the best thing to use when embedding their videos on your websites. However, there is an IFrame Fix thanks to Michael Lancaster. You can actually view his page right here, which talks about this actual fix. So if you do copy the actual iframe code from YouTube and copy that and paste it wherever you're going to put it, as long as you have this set of CSS somewhere in your CSS code, then your iframe should be flexible. I'm not going to say it will because it's not guaranteed because of changes and modifications in browsers, but by using this fix, you should be able to have a good idea about how your iframe video can be flexible. If you're wondering exactly about that 56.25%, well, take a note of the width and the height of your iframe. This is the same width and height that most videos come from YouTube. And if you take 315 and divide it by 560, that's about 56.25%. So based on that, it is actually spacing it out from the padding on the bottom. Now, the wrapper itself, it actually has a position of relative because that itself is being spaced out and you have to make sure that the position is there. The padding, divide the video hit by 3, 2, 1. For the padding, divide the video height by the width and then convert that number to a percent. In this case, 315 divided by 560 equals 0.5625, which is 56.25%. This is what maintains the aspect ratio of the video. This may change based on how different videos are embedded, such as 4 to 3 ratio versus, 6.5 to 2 or something like that. For the iframe, position it absolutely with 0 offsets and set both of its widths and height to 100%. Note there is no way to limit the wrapper's largest size while retaining the aspect ratio with this technique. So if the page is wide enough, the video will expand larger than 560 by 315. While you can set the max width and max height on the iframe itself to limit the size of the video, the wrapper will continue to grow if given the chance. So, take a second to play around with this, embed some videos, play around, try things out, and see exactly what you can and can't do. That is it for this video. In the next video, we'll talk about something more useful in dynamic text and talk about media queries. Along with that, we'll also talk about responsive navigation, talk about fluid text again, and validation. If you have any questions about this or anything in Chapter 16, please send me an email or hit me up on Twitter. I'll get back to you with the best possible answer.